Welcome to our chair yoga class. We're going to be focusing on pausing and being present. So really just being right here in this present moment. And I just want to read something from Amy Hughes, who's a yoga blogger, and she talks about setting an intention for our class. So she says, as we begin this practice, and this is something that we can think about, as we begin this practice, I will bring all of my attention to this present moment. This allows me to tap into the true healing nature of yoga when I bring more presence and awareness to my breath and movement. So as we're moving through the poses today, let's try to be as present as possible. Let go of the day that you've had, let go of any stray thoughts, and let's just give ourselves the gift of being right here, right now. So let's start off, as we always do, by rolling the shoulders back and down. Starting to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And if those passageways are not clear today, let's just breathe as comfortably as we can. And then when you're ready, let's roll the shoulders back and down away from the ears. Let's sit up nice and tall on our chair. You can certainly close your eyes if you'd like to. And let's bring our focus to the sound of our healthy breathing. And as we take this moment to pause and be present, we start to notice little sounds of nature surrounding us here during our yoga practice. We start to notice how the air feels as it moves across the body. Whether we're here outside or just following along at home, take in all of the tiny little things in our surroundings. Noticing what the ground feels like underneath our feet. And as we hear the sound of our healthy breathing, we remind ourselves to breathe throughout each pose, especially if the poses are challenging. Let's keep breathing rather than holding the breath. And we make a promise to ourselves to feel each pose to the best of our own abilities while listening to the body at all times. Easing up when needed, and giving ourselves more of a challenge when wanted. Now when we're ready, let's slowly open our eyes, and we're going to start off with Anulom Vilom, alternate nostril breathing, for a little bit more deep breathing work. So let's take our right hand and put it palm facing us right in front of us. Take those middle 3 fingers and point them downward, using our thumb and our pinky fingers today. Let's use the right thumb to gently close the right nostril, and let's inhale up the open nostril. And then close with the ring finger, open up the thumb, and exhale down. Inhaling up. Close with the thumb, open the pinky, and then exhale down. Inhale. Close, exhale. 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 Inhale. Close and fully exhale. Relaxing the hands down on the lap. Let's open the eyes when we're ready. Inhaling tall through our frame here. And on the exhale, a gentle turn of the head, looking over one shoulder. Inhaling back to the center. Exhaling and turning in the opposite direction. Inhaling back to the center. Now let's gently tilt the head to one side. Inhaling, lifting upright. Exhaling with a tilt to the other side. Inhaling up. Now let's lower the chin on the diagonal. Inhaling and lifting. Exhale with a chin drop over to the other side. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. Now let's inhale one long arm all the way up toward the sky, and then exhale down along the body. Inhaling the other arm up and exhaling down. Just follow the breath here. Now let's use one arm like a snow angel arm. Lift it all the way up and then lower down. Other side, inhaling up and exhale as you lower. One more time on each side. Now let's lift one long arm straight out in front of you and lift it all the way up, and then exhale all the way back down. Other side, inhale, lifting, exhale, lower down. Find your own pace and follow your own breath. One more time on each side. reach both arms back for chest expansion pose. And then on the exhale, let's curl up with a nice tree hug. So we inhale as we open, exhale, rounding. And remember, for chest expansion, we want to feel the chest expanding. We should feel some action there. So when we open the chest, we have that little arch in the back. And as we round, we're pulling in the abdominals to guard the spine. A couple more in each direction. Now let's bring both arms down to the side. Hold on to your chair with your right hand. Let's inhale the left arm up, reach high, and on the exhale, a gentle bend. Inhale, lift, 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 and exhale that arm down. Let's inhale the right arm up. Exhale, a little bend. Inhale, lifting, and exhale as you lower. Enjoying these long stretches here. Again, trying to be as present as possible as we move through each of the poses today. Now let's lower that arm down. Let's inhale the left arm up to shoulder height, watching the tips of our fingers as we gently twist. Inhaling back to the center. And exhale as you lower. Inhaling the right arm up, gently twisting as we exhale. Inhaling back to the center and exhale down. One more time on each side. A lateral raise with a gentle twist. All right, now let's extend one long leg in front of us as we inhale, then lower down, and then inhale, stretching through the other leg. Remember, this is where I usually start to hear sounds from my bones, so I'm never worried unless I feel discomfort along with the noises. So a couple more times on each side, long leg extensions. Now, let's extend one long leg, move those ankles around in a circle or a windshield wiper side-to-side motion. If you're using a circle, let's reverse it. And then we're going to use a little point and flex through the foot, waking up all those lower leg muscles. Now let's switch to the other side. Inhale up, move those ankles around, check in and see how they're feeling before we start our standing poses. If you're using a circle, let's reverse it. then point and flex. All right, let's plant both feet flat on the ground, hips distance apart. So remember, that's about 2 fists wide. Let's inhale, both arms overhead, swan diving to a forward fold. And on the inhale, we lift to monkey. Exhaling down to forward fold. Rising tall as we inhale. Swan diving down. Now if you're seated, when you come into monkey, it's about a 45-degree angle for the spine. And then we exhale down. Inhaling and rising. And if you're standing, your monkey pose is going to be about parallel to the ground with a nice flat back. Taking the time here to listen to our healthy breathing. And as we listen to that breath, we might say to ourselves, I am fully present. Let's use one more of these sun salutations, and then we'll make a little change. Inhaling and rising tall. Now scoop up one knee and let's hug it in closer to the chest. Inhale and open. So we exhale when we scoop up the knee. And we pull in those abdominal muscles too to guard the back. Couple more of these, and then we'll go back to our sun salutations here in a moment. So let's head on down to forward fold. Inhaling into monkey. Exhale, forward fold. Rise as you inhale. Remember to keep the abdominals engaged throughout this whole sun salutation, but especially when you're headed down and when you're rising back up. We always want to protect the back. One more time, and then we'll make another change. Now, let's pick up one leg and step it over to the side to open up through the hip, and then bring it back in. So we inhale and open up. Exhale, bring it back. So think about maybe stepping over some tomato plants here. Just trying to get some good range of motion work in the hip. And you only have to step out as far as is comfortable for your hips. So if we have any discomfort, let's ease back. One more time on each side. All right, now if you have a drink, let's take one. If you'd like to stand for the next part, we're going to take a wide stance on the vacant part of the mat. If you don't want to stand, just scooch up on your chair with a wide stance there. Always a good idea to have a drink close by. All right. So with our wide stance here, whether we're seated or standing, let's inhale both arms up to a star pose, and on the exhale, bring those elbows in toward the ribs. Reach for the sky, and then exhale, bring those elbows in. Couple more times with moonflower flow. Now let's head into our hinging sunflowers. So bend through the knees, hinge forward and gather, and on the inhale, rise up. Strong abdominals on the way down and also as we rise. Breathe breathing in all the fresh air surrounding us. One more of these sunflower hinges. Now let's turn these into prayer flows. Palms touch overhead, bend through the knees, bring those hands to the heart. Exhale at heart center. Inhale, gathering. Gathering up all of the blessings that we've had in this day, bringing them into the heart. Hearing the sound of our healthy breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Finding our focus there. 2 more of these prayer flows. Now let's bring those arms all the way back down, and let's stack the feet to hips distance apart, whether you're seated or standing. Roll the shoulders back. Reach both arms down on the diagonal, palms forward. Let's inhale tall, engage the abdominals, and on the exhale, a hinge forward into airplane pose. On the inhale, let's rise up and lift the arms in front of us. Exhaling into airplane. Inhaling and rising. So when we hinge forward, our chest is about parallel to the ground. You don't have to go any further than that. Couple more of these airplane flows. Now, let's reach the arms out to the side. Turn your head to look at your left palm. Let's keep that left palm up and turn the right palm down. Let's inhale, and on the exhale, turn them over. Inhale, turning again. Following the breath through our shoulder spirals. One more time on each side. Now relax those arms, roll the shoulders back. Now let's lace the fingers down by our legs, lifting our arms to shoulder height. We can turn the palms outward. You can stay right here or take those arms up higher if you'd like. This is upholding heaven posture. Relaxing through the shoulders. Breathing deeply, feeling nice and long through the spine. Now let's bring the arms to shoulder height. Turn the palms over. Bring those hands beside you. Stir the air up. Just relax those wrists. Then reverse the circles. Now let's take our chairs and turn the seat cushions away from us. We're going to do a little work behind the chair here. I thought we would start off with rocking chair feet for a little bit of balance work. So behind our chairs, just go ahead and stand with 2 feet flat on the ground. Now first, we're going to lift up to the tiptoes as we inhale, and on the exhale, rock back on your heels. Inhale, tipping up, exhale, rocking back. And when we rock back on the heels, notice how we hinge forward at the hips. Now, if you want to spice this up a little, you could lift up one arm as you reach up to tiptoes and then come on back. Then lift up through the other arm and exhale back. So have a little fun here with your rocking chair feet. One more time, rocking back on those heels. Now standing all the way upright, let's roll the shoulders back. Hold on to your chair top and let's walk on back to downward dog. Pressing those hips back as if you're pushing a coffee table away with your bottom. Making a lunch table with your back. Straightening the legs as much as is comfortable today. And keeping our abdominals engaged. And enjoying that lengthening of the spine. Now maybe we're going to wag the dog's tail, moving the hips gently side to side here. Feeling that wonderful side body stretch. And then we'll bring those wagging tails back to the center. Let's take 2 breaths here. And then we'll walk all the way up to the back of the chair, rolling the shoulders back and down. Now let's get ready for Warrior One behind the chair. We're going to start with our right foot stepping as far back as we can step. Angling those toes out on the diagonal, turning our hips to face forward. Looking straight out into the distance with a soft gaze through the eyes. Whether you're holding the chair or not, it's always up to you. And as we look out into the distance, we relax the forehead, eyes, cheeks, and mouth. Warrior One, strong and peaceful. Now when we're ready, if you want to, you can put a hand on the chair here for stability. Pick up that right foot and gently step back to Warrior Two, looking out over that left middle finger here, feeling that nice opening of the hips. Now we can either keep our pose still or we can flow the pose, whichever you like. If you decide to flow the pose, we'll inhale the arms up, gently straightening the front leg, and then come back to a bend in the knee. So it's always up to you which version you want to use. And usually the body will let you know what it's looking for on any given day. Let's take 2 more full breaths. Now let's return to that standard Warrior Two. Let's turn that left palm up toward the sky. Reach forward to serve your friends. And then a little tilt back for Reverse Warrior. You can either look up to your high fingertips for a balance challenge, or look straight past that front arm, or straight ahead, whichever feels best. Now let's come back to Warrior Two. Step all the way up to the back of the chair. Again, let's walk on back to Downward Dog. You can decide if you want to stay still here or if you want to pepper in a plank flow. So that would look a little like this. On the inhale, we would come up to the tiptoes, shoulders in line with wrists, and on the exhale, back to downward dog. Keeping those abdominals engaged, whether we're standing still or flowing this pose. It's always a good idea to engage the abdominals to protect the back at all times. Let's take a few more deep breaths. And then come all the way back to downward dog. We'll hold on to the pose for just about 2 breaths. And then we'll walk on up to the back of the chair, rolling our shoulders back, standing tall with feet hips distance apart. This time we're going to take that left foot straight back, coming into warrior one on the other side of the body. So let's turn the hips to face forward. Holding the chair or not, it's up to you. And always remember, we want to make sure that the shoulders are positioned right above the hips. So we're trying not to lean forward or lean back, but to keep a nice neutral spine. Now, when you're ready, if you want to hold on to the chair with your right hand, you can. Step that left foot back, reach on out into warrior two, looking over the right middle finger. Decide if you're going to stay still or flow this pose. It's yogi's choice. Two more breaths. And then we'll come on back to warrior two when you're ready. Now take that right palm and turn it up toward the sky. Reach forward to serve your friends. Then gently tilt back for reverse warrior. When you're ready, let's come back to warrior two. Relax those arms. Stepping up to the back of the chair. Let's just shake those legs out a little bit. All right. So now, let's do just a little bit for the upper body. Let's take our left arm and reach across the chest like you're trying to shake the hand of the neighbor beside you. And use your right arm to hug that arm in close for half knot. Noticing how we get this wonderful stretch for the back of the shoulder. Now let's relax the half knot. Bring your right arm across the chest. Use your left arm to hug it in close to the body. And notice how wide open it opens up our chest here, just by putting one arm behind the back. Now let's relax that bind. Take that left arm and reach straight up to the sky, bending at the elbow, trying to connect with the shoulders or just get closer to them. And maybe we'll use our right hand to guide that elbow a little closer to the midline of the back. Now let's relax the right arm and then the left. We'll bring our right arm across the lower back. You can decide if you want to hold on to the other arm or not. It's up to you. Breathing in everything good about our day and this practice, and using our exhales to let go of anything that is of no use to us anymore. Allowing us to be right here, right now, in this present moment. Now let's relax the bind. Let's pick that right arm up, reach high for the sky, bend at the elbow and try to connect with the shoulders. And maybe we'll add the left hand, guiding that elbow a little closer to the midline, a little deeper range of motion for the shoulder. Now let's relax the left arm and then the right. Standing behind our chair, let's take our right foot just a short step back so we have a staggered stance here. Let's inhale, straightening both legs as much as is comfortable, and on the exhale we hinge forward from the hips, coming into pyramid pose. And we get that wonderful long-legged stretch behind that front leg. And if you're thinking, well, Becky, I think I've gone a little too far, it doesn't feel so wonderful, don't worry, just ease up a little bit from your hinge, and that will help ease the sensation. If you're thinking, I don't think I'm going far enough, then certainly feel free to get a little deeper. Now on the next inhale, let's lift up through the trunk, step that right foot forward, and bring your left foot a short step back. Inhale, straightening the legs. On the exhale, a hinge forward into pyramid. And remember, the flexibility behind each leg can be slightly different. So listen to the body here. It'll tell you where it wants to go today. We're ready. Let's lift all the way back upright. Step that back foot forward. Shake those legs out. Let's turn our chair cushions to face forward and pick up your strap. Just put it onto your chair cushion so you can have it close by. I thought we would do a little bit with our tree pose today. So if you want to hold on to your chair, make sure you're close enough to reach it. Let's shift all of our balance to the leg closest to the chair and point through the opposite toes and draw those toes in. Maybe they're at ground level today. Maybe they're up on the calf. Maybe you want to go high on that high inner thigh. It's always up to you. Let's try to think about keeping this hip open. And we're gonna look straight ahead into the distance at a steady focal point. If I'm outside for yoga and I can see real trees, then I find comfort looking at real trees. And I'm comforted because they're never exactly still. They're always bending and moving a little, and it reminds us that we can do the same when we need to. So you're welcome to hold the chair or let go. It's always up to you. Engaging the abdominals, rooting down through our grounded foot. And we might think to ourselves, I am fully present. Let's take 2 more breaths and then shake those limbs out. So if you're using your chair, the easiest thing to do would be to just turn around and do the same pose on the other side. So let's do that. Let's shift our balance to our leg closest to the chair, point through the other toes, draw that foot in, decide where you want to plant your limbs today, opening up the hip, choosing any arm options you like. Let's shake out those limbs. Let's grab our strap here, and you're just going to fold it in half. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to come back to upholding heaven, just using the strap this time. So when you're ready, let's inhale the arms up to shoulder height, or you might choose to take them all the way up toward the sky. Always listening to the body at all times, enjoying this lengthening of the spine. Now when you're ready, lower those arms all the way down. Now I want you to hold on to your strap. So this next pose is Yogi's Choice. So you can either use this as a bonus balance pose or you can do it seated. So it's half wide leg straddle, either standing or seated. It's Yogi's Choice. So we know how to do it seated, where you have one foot on the ground, the strap is around your foot, and we do this, right? So the standing version obviously involves more balance work. So it's Yogi's Choice, whether you're seated or standing. If you're going to sit down, make sure that the other foot is flat on the ground. Make sure that you're sitting up as tall as can be and the abdominals are engaged. That long leg is out in front of you. You're going to inhale the leg out to the side and exhale and bring it in. So if you're standing beside the chair, it's going to be the exact same mechanics. It's just got a little more balance work here, and you go out to the side. Now some of you may be able to reach down and hold on to your big toe and straighten the leg out and do the same movement. You're welcome to. I'm using the strap because my arms and legs are not exactly long enough to make that function happen yet. So either my arms are going to grow miraculously or I'm going to get some more flexibility somewhere. So until then, I'm using the strap. One more time out to the side. All right, let's bring it in. Switch that loop over to your other foot. Let's just take that leg out to the side and then bring it in. And if you ever do decide to use this as a standing yoga pose, you can stand still and just have the leg out in front of you holding on to it, or out to the side. And sometimes you'll see yogis start in front and then move it over and hang out there for a while. So a few more times, heading over to the side. All right. Now let's put that foot down. Put your strap just behind you on your chair so it's not gone for good. We're going to use it a little bit more. All right. So here, we're sitting up tall on our chair and we're going to try an upper back stretch, thread the needle. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale tall, engage the abdominals, and on the exhale, hinge forward to that 45-degree angle for the spine. Now let's take our left arm and I want you to reach it under the right arm. Reach across your body and just reach that arm as far as it'll reach over to the side. So this is called thread the needle, and it gives us a nice upper back stretch. Keeping the abdominals engaged, breathing rather than holding the breath here. Now when you're ready, on the next inhale, let's take that arm back out, roll the shoulders back. Now we'll get ready for the other side. Let's inhale, engaging the abdominals. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale. And on the exhale, reach the other arm under. Reach it across. Now when you're ready, come all the way back up, roll those shoulders back and down. Now let's take both arms back, reach behind yourself for chest expansion, feeling that arch in the back. Feeling nice and open through the chest. Now when you're ready, let's wrap our arms around a big tree trunk, and as we round the spine, we pull those abdominals inward. Now when you're ready, let's open up from that tree hug, roll the shoulders back. The next pose is another yogi's choice. You can either sit forward on the chair and come into butterfly with your 2 feet, soles of your feet together, or, and that will give us a nice hip opening. It's a little more gentle, more mild, or you can use happy hips, which is one leg at a time. So if it feels comfortable to put one foot over the opposite knee, that's another option. And then another version would be to gently press down on this bent knee. And it's probably not going to go very far. It's not a lot of movement, but it can yield a little more sensation in the hip. So that's an option. And the last piece would be if you want to inhale tall and hinge forward from the hips. And that really can get deep into that hip work. So whether you're using butterfly or any version of happy hips, let's find what feels good for us tonight and good for our hips. And this is where we really want to listen to the body and make sure things are feeling good. They might be feeling challenging, but if we feel any discomfort, that's where we want to ease back. So let's take 3 more breaths. And then we'll come all the way back upright. Now, if you're using butterfly, you can either take a break because it's pretty balanced the way it is, or you can head back to butterfly. It's up to you. If you're using 1 foot at a time, we really ought to go to the other side. So again, each hip can be a little bit different, and that's very normal. So think about the options that feel good for your hip. When you're ready, let's come all the way back to our starting position. Bring those feet down if one was up. Now we're going to do a side bend. So if you're seated on the ground, it's just going to be a little different than if we're on our chair. So let's go ahead and start with either side. It's up to you. Let's inhale, 1 long arm up, reach as high as you can to lengthen the spine. Then a side bend. And this side bend might be a little deeper than the first one we did earlier on, because the body is warm, the muscles are stretchy. Two more breaths. Now inhale, lift, lift, lift. Exhale, bring that arm down. Other side, let's inhale, reach up as high as you can reach, and then exhale with a bend. Ready, come all the way back upright, relax that arm down. Now we're going to use owl pose for our seated twist. So if you're, it'll be the same whether you're on the ground or you're on a chair. So there's a little bit of something happening in owl that you may not be able to see if you're in the back of the yoga class, or even if you're watching the video and there's a lot to take in. So owl has a little bit of a hover thing going on with your hands. So basically, when we inhale, we're going to engage the abdominals, and we're going to hover, hover, hover with the hands. And for example, my right hand is going to reach over to my left knee, and I can just hang on to my chair frame or hang on to the side of the hip. So then when we come back, it's a hover, 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 hover. But there's a lot of abdominal work going on during this hovering motion. So I just wanted to point that out, okay? So when you're ready, let's start. Let's inhale, pull in the abdominals. On the exhale, let's take our right hand, hover, 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 over to the left knee. And then you can rest your left hand wherever it feels comfortable. If you're in a chair, you might hold on to the frame. If you're on the ground, you can just put that hand down on the ground. Think about sitting up nice and tall, engaging the abdominals, and this wonderful twist through the trunk like the stripes on a barbershop pole. Breathing rather than holding our breath, bringing out anything that is of no use to us anymore. Let's take 3 more breaths. Now, when you're ready, let's inhale, hover, hover, hover back to the center. Keep on hovering. Take that left hand over to the right knee and find your twist on this side of the body. And this is our owl pose. So just a little bit of a different seated twist. Feeling that good power through the trunk. Two more breaths. Now gently, gently unwind yourself back to the center. Now for Shavasana, you can either sit all the way back in your chair or you can work yourself down to the ground for Shavasana. Remember, Shavasana is just a wonderful way for us to find some mindful rest. And a lot of the times it's my favorite part of the class because we really don't have to do anything. We just have to let ourselves relax. However, I do want you to try to be present tonight with whatever Shavasana is offering to you. Sometimes you might see colors in your mind's eye or pictures might pop up. Sometimes it might be a totally blank canvas or a black chalkboard with nothing on it, and that's wonderful too. So let's go into Shavasana pose without any expectations. Let's allow ourselves to be still and calm and peaceful and present above all else. to gently, gently awaken these bodies from this balancing, mindful rest. Let's invite some small movements into our fingers and our toes, gently waking them. And let's start to breathe a little more deeply, inviting good, nourishing oxygen into the body and the mind, and finding our hearts are shining with gratitude, grateful for this beautiful time outside and this beautiful space for our practice. Grateful for this body and this breath that carries us everywhere we go. And grateful in the knowledge that practicing presence, just the act of being present, is within each one of us. And we can practice being present anywhere we are. And it really is such a gift for the body and the mind and the spirit when we allow ourselves to pause and be present. Now, if anyone is lying down for Shavasana today, let's take a moment to gently bend our knees, hugging them in closer to the chest, maybe even choosing to rock the knees very gently side to side, massaging the back in a gesture of self-care. And then when you're ready, carefully roll the entire body over to one side on your mat. Each of us breathing in the peace, focus, the balance that we have shared here together tonight, and intending to take them with us everywhere we go. And we exhale all of the warmth, kindness, and encouragement that we have for each other, for the whole world around us, and for ourselves. And for those lying down with our eyes still closed, let's make our way back up to an easy seated posture. I invite each one of us to bring the palms together at heart center. We'll start to rub the hands vigorously, warming them. And let's use our warm hands to gently cover our closed eyes. And that wonderful heat we find radiating there is inviting our eyes to slowly open, and we bring our hands to rest upon our laps. Clear minds, kind words, compassionate hearts. Namaste.
Namaste.